us remarks. They're different, but I wanted to quickly note that having had a media background before entering academia, it's been a huge, huge asset to me because I brag about having a network of journalists. Virtually all the veteran and the media managers in Nigeria are friends. And some of you also know that we can never underestimate the importance of networking. Scholars tend to be reclusive and even shy about promoting their work or promoting themselves, sometimes thinking that promoting their work means promoting themselves. It's even more so for those of us with British orientation. The American orientation has taught us that it is very important for you to talk about your research with I, not they or we. We are still doing a hard work with many traditional scholars who keep saying we. I see Nigerian students come to Carleton and are avoiding saying I. You are the one at the center of this research. While acknowledging this different academic orientation, it's very important for us to look at the directions of innovation. How do we, while respecting our scholarly enterprise, also understand that we're speaking to a global community that is changing? I think it's a two-way traffic. As academics who you are, it's important also that you bring some of the cultures that you have imbibed from Canada in a different academic culture, the ones that work best to help begin to change and be catalysts for some of the ways in which we can empower ourselves so that we'll feel confident to publish on social media without feeling guilty. All right, on that note, I would like to speed up by inviting, we have two speakers to go. And as I said to you, we tried as much as possible to blend this afternoon. And so not to just have all women. The women need support from the men as well. Just as the men need support. So I will invite Professor Olubukola Olugasa, the head of department, Jurisprudence and Public Law at Babcock University, to give us his remarks. Please, a round of applause for him.
Thank you very much, Prof. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, I've been told that we don't have time, and all I've come to say here is just to encourage us again, and I'm going to give you just a testimony because I happen to have the privilege of having something like this, and that's all I want to tell you. It opened my eye to something different. In the process of doing my PhD work at Babcock, I was working on something that has to do with law and technology. But I realized as I was reading, I couldn't find theories that could help my work. So I started looking for where to find theories that will help me to interrogate the system I'm trying to work on. I was working on criminal justice system. So the topic was about moving the criminal justice system forward through the use of technology. Along the line, I saw different universities that had things to do with technology, Center for Technology, but I wrote to a number of them. I think I wrote to more than 10, but eventually one came up, and that's University of Ottawa. So I was given visiting scholar program to come and do there. Now, that gave me the privilege of having, when I first got to the place and I saw materials, I saw books, I got buried in that system entirely because I was to do 3 months. How will you finish all this in 3 months? But one thing I knew that helped was that I was always going from one lecturer to the other, attending virtually all the classes. I remember the dean of the faculty once called me and said, please, don't do this. You don't have to attend all the conferences. I was looking at that. You don't have to attend all the conferences. Me, I will attend everything. I wasn't tired. But you see, the point is, it's an opportunity to have what you mean. Because when you are in the academia, if you have access to materials, to books, is a lot. It makes a lot of difference in your life. I'll be piling books like this, carrying them and going. In fact, there was time I had an embarrassment. I was carrying all the books. The man failed to swipe it, to deactivate it. But I didn't take it lightly. Because by the time I got to the door and the thing made all the noise of the world to now say, Nigerian came here and he wants to carry their book away, I went straight to him. Now, but what I'm trying to bring out is this. You have such opportunity to go to a place where you have different knowledge harvested. What's going to happen thereafter? I had to do another PhD after I did that one. There is a reason for it, and I'm saying it now. Because when I finished doing that work, I wasn't satisfied anymore. And the reason why I'm saying this is that you cannot be satisfied. The moment you are exposed and you have all those things, my orientation about academic changed absolutely. A lot of things happened, and I said, so what's all this? I had to come back and say, I'm doing another PhD that will now talk about those theories. Because when I started reading all the materials you are giving me, these materials are not satisfying that thing I'm looking for. But interestingly, the second one now gave me what I never expected. I got to sponsorship for programs. In fact, I spent almost 2 weeks totally sponsored just because of the second topic. And I'm talking about decolonization of the theories of law and technology. And I was looking at it from the African perspective. Africa is rich. They've not heard, and they're going to hear from you. The first thing they asked me to talk about was about conceptualization of access to justice of indigenous people. I was not working on indigenous people before, but by the time I understood what that thing dealt with, and I don't know, maybe when they sponsor you sometimes, it seems as if you suddenly, when you are not spending your money, some inspiration will come to you. I was in the hotel in Arizona. All the paper I had written, almost 17 pages of what I was going to present. Just like Prof said, that's why I was saying, Prof is going to say all these things now. They said, no, you are not talking for more than 5 minutes. 5 minutes for what? But what I'm trying to bring out of that is this. It gives you, when you walk after, go for grants. Go for research grants that will further aid your work. Because we talk about economic issue on this side of the world, but you need things to make you advance. It will give you opportunity to advance in terms of certain things. Now, so what I'm saying is that the exposure you have had is meant to challenge you to do better. But you cannot just depend on what you have picked like that. You must also look at your roots. He is saying he teaches West Africa. West Africa has ideas that have not been harvested. They want to hear. How do you relate? So, talking about technology today, yes, successfully one was able to provide some technological theories and be projecting them, but projecting them from African angle. What they want to hear, when you get there, if you go and be talking to them about what they know, you are wasting your time. You won't get any grant. But just write something. In fact, the second one was in January, the second one was in November. That was last year. The second one, I had written an abstract, and they accepted it. Only for the person to now tell me, can you just look at another copy? And I wanted to talk about that because it was about indigenous, the definition of indigenous people, that it wasn't properly done by the UN. But he now said, okay, can you do something about technology for, I said, which one? I now matched that one and the one that is to now show that the indigenous people too have technology. That technology is even going to deny them certain things, except we also have. Now, but what I'm trying to make out is that it is that exposure. You have the exposure. You need to harness that which you have to spring out the ideas of Africa and make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You see, there's magic in standing up. I wish we could stretch this afternoon because these are insights and stories that are so important. We tend to be so marooned in our different workspaces that we don't always get together in a coffee shop or at a pub or any of those kind of places where we feel more relaxed. And I think that's the benefit of the kind of setup we have had this evening, for people to relax and share this experience. Thank you so much. I can relate a whole lot to those experiences. And the thing about inviting academics who are used to lecturing to talk, I leave the rest of you to deal with it.